Today's workout is a 20-minute full body first trimester prenatal HIIT workout. I'm 11 and a half weeks pregnant myself, and I'm gonna walk you through and we're gonna work out together. Let's start with our warm up. We're gonna take our feet right underneath the hips, arms across your chest, and we're gonna do a good morning. So you're gonna push your hips back, come down to a nice flat back position, and then stand all the way up. So you really wanna feel a big stretch through your hamstrings and your back body. So I want you to push your butt back, weights in your heels, and so you feel everything out. Those hamstrings, those glutes, those calves, get a nice stretch. Chin is tucked, so when you come down in that flat back, you're looking at the floor. Your abs are gently braced. Chest is lifted the whole way throughout, so we're not rounding that upper back. We're gonna take things slow at your own pace here. So even though we might still be working, if you need to take a break during any of the intervals, you're absolutely welcome to do that. We're gonna do one more here and then we'll move on to a new exercise or a new warm up. We're gonna come to the front, take your feet really wide here, turn the toes out a little bit. We're gonna lunge over to the right, reach that left arm down and rotate through the chest, reaching that right arm to the sky. Let's come back up, other side. Ooh, did you hear that little hip pop? It's great for getting those hips warmed up, the inner thighs, and the upper spine. As you twist, really reach that hand up. So I know during the first trimester, at least for me, I have good days and bad days. Some days I'm really nauseous. So if you need to slow down, feel free to do that if you need to take more breaks. And I'm also watching my heart rate. I always wear a heart rate monitor, and you'll see it tagged below in the description, my MyZone MZ3 heart rate monitor. That helps me make sure my heart rate's staying in check. And it's gonna be different for every person, but for me, it tells me kind of where my range should be. We're gonna do one more each side here. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna come down onto the floor really quick, onto those hands and knees. We're gonna do a little cat-cow. So rounding the back, tucking that chin, arching the back, looking up. Just warming up that spine. Just moving at your own pace through this. Take your time. And if you need longer to warm up, I have a 5-minute warm up in my warm-up videos, so feel free, if you need more time, go ahead and add that on. We're gonna finish in a downward dog, so push your hips back and up, pedal your heels toward the floor one at a time. Really try to reach those hips up and back so we feel that stretch through the back body. We're gonna stay here for a couple more seconds and we're gonna get ready for our first exercise. All right, let's come on up, walk those feet toward your hands, gently stand up. We're gonna start with a squat to a backwards lunge. So I'm gonna show you from this side. Hands can be out front or on your hips. We're gonna squat, and then we're gonna step back into a lunge with your right leg. Squat, step back, and you can do either leg. We're gonna do both eventually. We're staying on the same side for this first set. So you can see my feet are a little wider than my hips here. And then when I'm stepping back, knees are going to 90 degrees in that lunge. I'll show you from this side again. So we want those knees pushing forward, and then 90 degrees hip to ankle in both moves. Nice and slow here. We're gonna get our butt almost to the knees in that squat, and that back knee almost to the ground. That front knee should line up right over that ankle. That perfect alignment is gonna help us work the hips and glutes, keep our knees safe. Rest here, we're gonna move to the other side. So we're working for 50 seconds, as you can see. It's a long time, so take your time. Other side, squat, and then we're stepping back with that opposite leg. We wanna keep that chest up here, so we're sitting the hips back. We're not rounding the spine to try to get lower in that squat. And when I step back and up in the lunge right here, I'm pushing through my front heel. That's gonna help me engage my glute. Starting to get intense. You know, when I go quiet, my heart rate's getting up. And it happens faster for me now that I'm pregnant. I get out of breath a lot easier. I'm sure you can relate. All right, we're stopping there, we're resting. We're coming to an inchworm plank. So come to the back of your mat if you're on a mat. We're gonna crawl forward into a plank and then crawl right back up. So hinging from your hips, bend the knees, come forward, hit that plank, hands over shoulders, abs tight, and then come back up. So hips hinge before we come down. That's gonna allow us to work on that hip mobility, and then we're coming back through that hip hinge. Do you see that? So you're never rounding your back. You're hinging, so we work the back, the legs, the core, and the shoulders without compromising our spinal integrity. And then you want to brace that core right here, bring those shoulders all the way over your wrists. If you're feeling good, you can start to speed up here. Only got about 15 seconds left. All right, we're gonna rest now. Walking back up, we're gonna move to a lateral lunge with a knee lift. So take the feet under your hips. We're gonna step right and then lift the right knee. Here we go. So step right and then lift that right knee. You can take your hands on your hips. You can do running arms like this, whatever works for you. But I want you to focus on pushing your butt back and then pulling that knee up, using your core right here. And to come up and lift that knee, it takes a lot of balance. It takes core engagement. So think about that. Engage your core, squeeze your butt right here, and then push out of this standing leg to lift. Big step out. That's gonna help you work those hips more, give you more stability. Nice, one more. And we're gonna move to the other side. So how'd that feel? Heart rates are starting to get up. Wearing my heart rate monitor, checking it, just making sure it stays in check. Feet under hips, other side, here we go. Lunge and lift. Just make sure those toes are pointed forward when you step out into that lunge. We don't wanna rotate the toes to the side. That's gonna take that work out of the glute. More than halfway there. Can we take it deeper? Try it. It's not about how fast you're going here. It's about that range of motion. We want to go deep into the hips and pull that knee up using the abs, really balancing at the top. And rest. All right, moving on to a plank toe tap. So we're going to start in a plank either on your hands or knees. Hands under shoulders, abs tight, feet a little wider than hips. We're gonna reach back, touch that toe, come back to our plank. Other side. Tap that toe, reach that shoulders over wrists. So pushing the hips back, kind of like a down dog. Trying to reach that toe. If you can't get all the way to the toe, no big deal. Just do what you can. And then if you need to, you just drop your knees in the plank, and then you reach back and you come back down. But when you come to that plank, either way, I want your butt down, so you're really engaging that core right here. Do you feel that? And planks are perfectly safe to do in the first trimester. Gets a little hairy in the second trimester with that inner abdominal pressure, but we can still do them pretty effectively right now. Done. Okay, coming to our feet, we're gonna come to a curtsy lunge with the knee lift. So kind of like that lateral lunge. We're gonna step that right leg to the back corner and then lift that right knee up. So you can keep your hands on your hips. You can do those running arms again. But that leg, you can see it's going to the back corner. That front knee presses out over your front foot. And then we're pulling that knee up using balance, using the core. And you've got a few feet between those feet. If you can see that angle, it's about a 3.5 foot step back. So you wanna make sure you're not too narrow, that front knee, you can still see your toes when you come down. Nice. All right, we're gonna do it all on the other leg. Deep breath, starting to feel it now. Curtsy lunge, lift that knee. I can instantly tell this side's a little bit easier for me. This leg, I've got more stability on this side. That's perfectly normal. So why we do a lot of this single leg stuff, so we can work on that muscle symmetry on our balance. And in pregnancy, any imbalances you had prior to pregnancy, they're only gonna be exacerbated by pregnancy. So it's really important to work on strengthening and stretching those muscles that are tighter and weaker. And I've got a great stretch workout for you guys too, a great strength workout, core. We're doing it all through the trimester. So we're gonna get strong, stay strong, to have a healthier pregnancy. That's the goal. And an easier recovery. Hold. All right, moving to the floor. We're gonna do a kneeling push-up. So take your hands about as wide as your mat. On your knees, walk your knees back a little bit, abs tight, hips down. We're gonna bring that chest to elbow height, and then push back up. Fingertips spread apart, elbows wide. Keep your core tight so your body's like a board. Even though you're on your knees, I want everything to go up and down at the same time. Now this, you might feel it's too challenging. If so, just pull your knees in like this and keep going. It's more important for that range of motion, chest to elbow height, than to be on your knees with the knees back or on your toes. That just puts more pressure on the arms and on the core. So if it's too much, just take it here. Last couple, I'm gonna walk those knees back. Good work, guys. We're moving to our backs for a glute bridge with a leg extension. Now we're only gonna be on our back for a short amount of time, but if you feel out of breath or dizzy, please sit up. We're gonna lift that front leg, extend, and bend. So we're staying here, just extending and bending that leg. Squeezing the glute, and that opposite leg, we're gonna drive through the heel on the floor, and then try to keep those hips stable. Again, if you're feeling dizzy, nauseous, unwell here, please sit up. But usually during the first trimester, you can do a few things on your back for a short amount of time and tolerate it just fine. But again, it's gonna depend on the person, so listen to your body, listen to your doctor. You can always do just a couple, take a break and get right back into it. Whew, this one burns that booty. Rest. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the other leg. So this is really important, strengthening those hips and glutes and the core here. So opposite leg up and extend. Again, we're moving nice and slow, focusing on bringing that knee up over the hip, driving it out. And as we do that, we're bracing the abs, actively pushing through that front heel or whatever heel's on the ground. Woo, feeling that in the glutes. So important to strengthen our glutes because it puts so much pressure on the core carrying a baby. You know that. So having strong glutes will really help counterbalance that front-loaded weight that we gain and then help support our back and alleviate that back pain that's so common with pregnancy. All right, we're gonna rest. We're coming to a side plank with a pulse. So bottom leg down, top leg straight, elbow under shoulder. We're gonna lift the hip, stay up and pulse. So that bottom hip is off the floor. We're just doing a tiny pulse at the top. So you're barely moving. We're pressing that forearm into the mat and then keeping that shoulder down away from your ear. So most of that pressure should be right here through your hips. If you feel it more in your shoulder, just take a break and come back up. Again, you can take it slow as you want. I'd rather you go slow than speed up and be like half doing it. Again, this one is really gonna burn out those glutes just like we did after the bridge. You're gonna feel this one. Only 10 seconds left. It's getting intense, I know. But we're more than halfway through the workout. That's the good news. All right, moving to the other side. Other good news is I'm not nauseous. There's been several of these that I filmed that. It's a close call. All right, elbow in line with hip, lift that hip, pulse. And you have good days and bad days. Most people in their first trimester, some longer than that, but just know that I'm with you. I feel you. I understand how hard it is to work out. So do what you can. If you can't make it through this whole workout, don't beat yourself up about it. There have been plenty of times, and I'm a fitness professional and have taught thousands of classes over the years, and I have had to back off so much during this pregnancy. So be patient with your body, be gracious with yourself, and know that it is a phase. Your body's working really hard at growing a human, so sometimes that's all you have to give. You can't give anything else, and that's okay right now. Almost there in 3, 2, 1. All right, we're moving to a scorpion lift. So you come onto your hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're gonna extend that front leg, bending it, flex the foot, heel over knee, and we're gonna push that heel up and drop it back down just a couple inches. We want that knee to come back down to about hip level and keep it there. And that's gonna work that glute and hamstring. Do you feel it? It's also gonna work your back, your lower back a little bit, but we don't wanna push too high. We don't wanna feel a strain in the lower back. So if you feel that, you can just take it a little bit lower. It's hard to keep that heel over the knee and keeping that hamstring curl, but we wanna do that. We wanna avoid doing this, so we keep that tension in the hamstring. So if you have a mirror, this is a good one to look in the mirror for. And again, you're fighting to keep your hips square to the floor as well. We don't want to open up that hip. Again, that takes that tension out of the glute and hamstring. All right, we're gonna do that same thing other side. Whew. Can you feel it yet? This micro glute work that we're doing at the end is the hardest part, I think, sometimes. All right, bend that leg, flex the foot, curl it in, drive that heel, push it up and drop just a couple inches. Take heart, this is our last exercise, so we're almost done. And we get to cool it down. These moves are great. We're really focusing on our core in this last few minutes. Again, such an important thing to build strength in, especially when we can in the first trimester. It's the time we want to take advantage of it the most. All right, press through those hands, keep everything square to the floor. We're in the home stretch. Feel that glute working hard. We're almost there. Last 5 seconds. Yes, we did it. All right, go ahead and open your knees wide. We're gonna come back to a child's pose and cool it down. Just let it all go here. Walk those hands over to the right, reach, extend that left arm and pull through the left side of your body. Get a deeper stretch. Let's do that on the other side. All right, we're gonna come back through that cat-cow. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders, cat stretch, round that back, tuck the chin. Feel that thoracic spine open up, feels good. Arch it, look up. Let's move through that again. We're gonna bring one leg forward and do a hip and glute stretch. So 90 degrees at the knees, opposite arm up, give it a little pull, releasing that hip flexor. You wanna tuck that back hip under, squeeze that back glute a little bit, and that's gonna help you release the front of that leg. I'm gonna sit back into a hamstring stretch, extend that front leg, toe up. We're gonna move to the other side. Hip flexor, arm up, little pull. And we're gonna finish with that hamstring. Hope you guys enjoyed today's workout. Again, I've got plenty of workouts coming up, if they're not on my channel already, for every trimester of pregnancy. I'm gonna progress through the workouts as I progress through my trimester so you can see what it looks like for a person in each stage of their pregnancy going through these workouts. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what else you'd like to see. When I'm pregnant, I wanna get as many workouts done as possible. So give me some feedback and let me know what other workouts you wanna do with me.